My S15 pickup gets me to work Monday through Friday, but it's best on Saturdays. It's got plenty of room in the extended cab and a smooth ride. It's dependable, and it does things a car just can't. I even saved $1,900 on options with a value package. With 4.3-liter power available and the security of rear-wheel anti-lock brakes, the decision to buy was even easier. GMC Truck. It's not just a truck anymore.
Get 2.9 financing or up to $750 cash back on selected S15 pickups.
Golf's high rollers battle for one of the tour's top prizes in a true test of endurance and consistency. Complete 5-round coverage of the Las Vegas Invitational begins Wednesday, live on ESPN.
We welcome you back to the Tampa Gatorade Invitational on a beautiful spring evening in Tampa, Florida. Now, so far tonight, we have witnessed 5 races, and all of them have been exceptional. The official results thus far in the women's 100-meter hurdles, Kim McKenzie in a time of 13.05, fastest time in the world in 1989. Russell and Council second. Pat Davis took third. In the men's 110-meter hurdles, again, the fastest time in the world this year now belongs to Arthur Blake with a time of 13.6. Jack Pierce and Rod Stewart rounded out our top 3. And the men's 400 in a time of 45.50. Gabrielle Terco ran to victory over Walter McCoy and Elvis Ford. And the women's mile, what a victory for Diana Richburg as she annihilated a field. Shelley Steele took second, and Laura Matson finished a distant third. And in a race we witnessed just a moment ago, a surprise win for Anita Howard, a freshman in Gainesville, Florida, for the Gators of Florida, with a surprise win over a disappointed Evelyn Ashford. Well, Larry Rawson is standing down on the infield of the track. He has a report on the women's high jump.
There you see the women's world record. Stefka Kostadinova of Bulgaria, 6'10". Louise Ritter has the American record. There were 5 competitors here. 4 of them had cleared 6 feet in the past. 2 of them were Olympians. They got eliminated early. This was Louise Ritter trying at 6 feet 4 inches, unsuccessful on her first attempt. She had the event won at 6'2", as she attempts to clear at 6 feet 4, her second attempt. It's no go here in Tampa for Louise. From the first Olympic Games in 1896 up until 1960, only 2 male Olympic champions ever went higher in the Olympics, and this lady jumped in 1988 in Seoul, 6'8". But Louise, you weren't close to that today.
No, today wasn't too good a day. It's the first meet of the outdoor season. I've had a little injury, so 6'2" was about the best I could manage.
You went higher in your practice sessions over there.
Yeah, I did. I jumped 6'3", a little bit, almost 6'4" in warm-up, and then didn't have quite as good a time in the competition.
Is this telling us this is your first outdoor meet? That you're not in that good a shape, or no?
Well, I'm in pretty good shape. I'm just not in real good rhythm yet. I'm running and I'm jumping I'm running good. I'm jumping high in the air. I just haven't got a lot of timing down. And so I think next week when I'm back out here in Tampa, it'll be a different story. I'll be ready to jump high.
Okay, what are the goals for this year?
Well, I'd like to be competitive and go over to Europe and have some good competitions against Stefka and just let everybody know that last year wasn't a fluke and just do what I can do.
I don't think it was a fluke. Other people don't either. The Olympic champion is with us today. Her final clearance, 6 feet 2 inches.
All right, Larry, there's the winner, our Olympic champion, Louise Ritter, with a jump of 6 feet 2. Trish King and Holly Kelly finish at 6 feet even. Now back to live action. The vaulters are ready to go at it again. Sergei Bubka, as we documented for you earlier, his world record, 19:10.5. And Larry, here in the spring of 1989, there is already talk by Bubka of sailing over the 20-feet plateau.
Well, the winds have changed. You're smiling on the pole vaulters. You're looking at Paul Babbitt, who lives up in Ann Arbor, Michigan, competes for Nike. This is his second attempt at 18 feet 6.5 inches. Florida State's Larry Carr has also in the competition. He's in at 18 6.5 as well. The wind has picked up again. It is almost directly at the athlete's back. It gives them an added push down the runway. More speed translated on the pole means higher height. Joe Dial still in the competition. Greg Duplantis as well. Those are the final 4 as you take a look at Babbitt. 18 18.6½. Just get a step down a little bit. He uncoiled a little too soon, soared into the bar. But obviously excited about the vault itself. Look at him. He probably feels he's got a good shot at this. 18.6½ is right up about his lifetime best. Watch him using most of the runway. The key is your final approach, the plant, and the transition. The Russians have a word for it called one motion, where you try and transfer the speed and the power onto the bar. The pole itself and ride up to the bar. One more attempt left at 18.6½ for Paul Babbitts.
All right, Larry, while Babbitts takes a look at things, at the opposite end of Pepinrood Stadium, Jake Jacoby is set in the men's high jump.
Jacoby attempting 7 feet, 6½ inches. This young man went to college on a football scholarship. This is his last attempt at 7, 6½. Just ticked it on the way down. Look at him. Look at the anguish you feel. He moved down earlier this year from Boise, Idaho, where his dad's the coach at Boise State. And he went down to Houston to try and get some warmer weather training in with Jimmy Howard. Lays out well over the bar, but just clips it as he's coming down with his heel. Just didn't get himself up in the ground. Here's another point of view. Look at the lift. He tries to bring his arms back in. White Stone says that too. Some of the athletes leave their right arm out there for balance. You're looking at Greg Duplantis back in the pole vault. The bar still 18 feet, 6½ inches. The wind is picked up a lot right now as he comes down the runway. No attempt soaring into the bar. His plant is off there. Let me add this. When the wind picks up and blows you down the runway, it tends to cause you to make your last steps closer to the bar because you're going faster down the runway. So there's good news, bad news. It throws you off a little bit and makes your last step closer to the bar, which frequently makes your vault be aborted. Look at that. He's not in control at all there. Not in control. The wind can be a detriment as well as an asset. Look at him soar directly into it. Not even close. He didn't have control of his pole.
Larry, Sergei Bubka already talking about the 20-feet plateau here in 1989. Is it attainable?
Yes, it is. Speed is the key ingredient in the pole vault, among other things. I say the key, you need tremendous speed as well as everything else as we take a look at Larry Carr from Florida State up in the runway at 18.6½. Bubka is the fastest pole vaulter in the world. He has been invited at different times to train with a Soviet sprint team and is considered among the 10 fastest sprinters in the Soviet Union. Here he's not even a sprinter, he's a pole vaulter. He has declined that, by the way, and continues to focus his training on the vault itself.
Carr, his personal best, 18 feet 1 inch. So he is trying to exceed that by a goodly bit tonight, and that 18.1 set just a month ago.
No, another poor attempt. I say a poor attempt. Duplantis didn't have a good one either up there. And I don't know whether the wind is bothering them now on their approach. But watch this. I mean, he really has problems in his last step as he approaches and swings wide. He lays back in the pole and doesn't get any explosion off the bar at all. He may have to go to a different pole, maybe a stiffer pole, to give him more lift off the bar. Notice the legs come down. He's coming down on the bar because he does not have enough speed down the runway. There are many things that can go wrong with a jump itself. You come down on the bar and it can mean any one of 3 different things. Now he's got to go calculate exactly what he's doing wrong right now. 4 people left in the pole vault here. This instrument that you see that they're holding, Babbitts and the rest, actually emanates and has its origins in the fishing rod. The fiberglass fishing rod was made stiffer and thicker and then hollowed out, and they started testing it out in the 50s. One of the first people to use it, Olympic champion Bob Mathias, in the early 1950s, actually used it in an Olympic competition, went 13 feet 3 inches prior to the Olympics on the pole and was comfortable with it. It's kind of surprising to me that it took another 10 years for the thing to really be used by most everybody. The early 60s saw its tremendous growth, and 16 feet was attained indoors by John Ulysses on the fiberglass pole. There you see our little camera in the upper left-hand corner up there, as it gives you a point of view that the pole vaulters have. There it is. 18 feet. Notice it rocking back and forth. It's 18 feet, almost 19 feet off the ground. Imagine riding a pole 150 yards, almost the length of a football field, as you look at Babbitts and what he faces. Going down the runway at about the equivalent of an 11-second 100-yard dash, carrying an object that's 18 feet long and weighs about 7 pounds, planting it in there, turning yourself upside down, and then letting go of your support system and having to fall down the equivalent of 2 stories. And that's what Babbitts is about to do. These athletes are among the best coordinated people in the sport. They have speed. They have a great deal of strength. Many of them used to be hurdlers and dashmen. The higher you hold on the pole, the less control you have. Look at his right hand. He is within 8 or 9 inches of the top of the pole. The Europeans hold the pole a little closer together than the Americans by 3 or 4 inches. You can do that if you are a little more schooled in the vault and technically sounder. Let's watch and roll with Babbitts down the runway here. It's taking as long as Dwight Stones used to do in the high jump. Down. They have a small piece of white cloth attached to the pole vault standards themselves to give the athletes an idea of which way the wind is blowing. Sometimes they wait until the wind is just right for them. It is picked up again, and here comes Babbitts. No. Well, 18-6 seems to be separating many of the best pole vaulters here. Joe Dial still to come, but Babbitts and Carr and Duplantis have not had success. Watch him down the runway. Gets off the ground well. Rocks back. No, but piles into the bar. Sometimes when you board and come in under the bar, your steps are usually off and you don't have enough speed. It's kind of funny that they're hitting the bar on the way up with the wind at their back still.
It is now the men's 4x100 relay. The world and American record belongs to the United States, set 5 years ago, and boy, what a team that was. Eamon Coughlin, their time, 37.83. And here are the lane assignments. In lane 2, Orlando. In lane 3, the Seminoles of Florida State. Miami's Dade County Community College South is in lane 4, followed by the Mazda Track Club, East Carolina, George Mason. Lane 1 and 8 are open. And now there are some unauthorized people on the track way out in the backstretch. Arthur Blake, who we saw earlier tonight, is in lane 1 representing the Orlando Track Club. Make that lane 2. 1 and 8, as I said, are open. There's Miami-Dade County Community College.
All right, gentlemen, on your mark.
A good start. East Carolina appears to be taking the lead as they head down into the backstretch. East Carolina in the bright gold. East Carolina. And to the third leg they go, and it is still East Carolina. A little trouble with the baton toss. And it is now Calvin Smith who reeled it against the Florida line. Miami-Dade Community College. It is Darren Rachel's husband, did he explode on that final leg.
Watch Calvin Smith here now in the exchange. Remember, in the Olympics, this is where the U.S. had big problems. When Calvin Smith was handing off to Lee McRae, they overran the stagger, and they were disqualified from the final. Now, as Calvin Smith passes the baton to Council, look at the problems. He nearly runs out of the lane. He switches from his left hand, right hand, all the way over to the left hand. They nearly had problems there, and they nearly went out of the lane again.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You remember in Seoul, it was that faulty baton toss out of the passing zone, Eamon, that ultimately disqualified the American team.
And the same thing just about happened here, only they weren't going out of the lane. They were going, crossing from one hand to the opposite hand on the runner. They got a little bit of confusion there. Calvin nearly fell when that happened.
In the men's 4x100 relay, it is Miami-Dade College. Calvin Smith and Darren Council. Boy, what a final two legs. We'll return with more in a moment.
So what's little dandruff?
Okay, imagine you're at the social event of the year, and your dream girl says hello, just as you do this. Her first impression? What a hunk. Only a few flakes.
Give me a break.
The breaks are you never get a second chance to make a first impression.
So?
So regular shampoos won't fix your problem. Try this.
Head and Shoulders? But you don't have dandruff.
Bingo.
Head and Shoulders, because you never get a second chance to make a first impression.
My son and I can't wait to get away in my Sierra and do some fishing. And GMC truck makes it easy. I've got towing string, a smooth ride from the independent front suspension, the security of rear-wheel anti-lock brakes, and savings of $900 on options with a value package. Sierra, a solid value I can depend on, backed by a bumper-to-bumper plus warranty. GMC truck, it's not just a truck anymore.
Now get an automatic transmission on new Sierras at no extra charge.
The Minarets of Tampa. We are at the Tampa Gatorade Invitational, Pepin Root Stadium on the University of Tampa. And what a night it has been thus far. Well, the state of track and field in the United States of America, well, that is a subject that Larry Rawson has taken under his wing tonight. We'll hear that report right now. Larry?
1988 was an interesting and exciting year in sports, in particular because of the Olympic Games. The showcase of those games, track and field. And our team did very, very well. 13 gold medals, about as well as anybody could have hoped for. When you look below the surface of the world-class performers, however, many experts close to the sport are concerned. And an in-depth look proved very enlightening.
In the 12 Olympic events that are one lap or shorter, the United States occupied on average 37% of the top 10 positions in each event, a superb showing. Sprinters in America, such as Carl Lewis, can frequently reach world-class status while still in college. But in distance races and in field events, which often take additional years of training to become a world-class athlete, America has fallen behind badly, placing just over 1 athlete in 10 on the world rankings for the 28 Olympic events longer than 400 meters. The lack of a club system and money are at the root of the problem.
Well, when you have a shoe contract, you can sit back and train and peak for the big meets, but when you don't have that monthly income coming in, you have to go to every track meet you can just to survive, to, you know, make it, pay your monthly bill.
Nike, Mazda, and the Mobil Oil Corporation have been major financial contributors for years to the U.S. track and field program, but much more is needed.
Has lost its sort of sense of purpose with regard to track clubs. This is an organization that should be basically founded on club system. The colleges produce athletes and what have you, but they're not around all year long during our program. We've got to at least picture-wise, a nice top end of athletes, but you look below that and further, there's a big hole. And unless their focus changes, we're going to have some very bad times and very short. I'm not talking about 10 years.
In those few areas of the country which have organized programs, America has found some of its greatest talents, such as Carl Lewis and this lady.
I was started when I was 9 years old, and I was involved in an organized track club and had a lot of support. And if it wasn't for the track club in East St. Louis, there's no way a college coach could come see me, or there's no way I could have gone to a school like UCLA on a basketball and track and field scholarships. It's unfortunate that a lot of the track clubs are dying because of lack of funding. Some of those athletes are going to eventually drop out of athletics and then probably go into the job market and not really reach their potential in track and field.
The Soviet Union and East Germany contribute up to 1% of their gross national product to develop their young and support hundreds of sports clubs throughout their countries in an effort to defeat the United States and the rest of the world athletically. America's best, however, continue to get older, and without a strong corporate program to develop a club system to take our national caliber athletes to the world-class level, America is headed towards some major problems in Barcelona in 1992. Look at the ages of our best stars by then, and remember this point, that no Olympic champion in the 41 Olympic gold medal track and field events in Seoul was over the age of 30.
I've been expressing my concern for about 8 or 9 years to TAC. I've been telling them every single year. This hasn't been something where I talked to them 8 or 9 years ago and then it dropped. Every year, my concern about track and field and the club system. TAC knows how I feel. I stand up and I'll say it all the time, that they're not doing what they should be doing for the clubs in the United States.
Executive Director Oleg Castle of the Athletics Congress was invited to respond to this and see the videotape, but declined to do so at this time. The invitation still stands if TAC at any time in the future would like to comment on the marketing approach that's being done to try and raise the corporate funds.
This is the men's mile. The world record belongs to Great Britain's Steve Cram, 346.32. The American record belongs to Steve Scott, unquestionably America's best miler ever. And take a look at this field. Jim McKeon certainly will be in the hunt, as will Ray Flynn. But, Eamon, as we asked at the top of our telecast, where is Sidney Marie? We knew he was in Tampa. He is not in this field.
Sidney is not on the starting line. We don't know what happened to him tonight. Perhaps Sidney has some kind of a problem. It's early in the season right now. This would have been his first race. It's only a month since the indoor season for Sidney, since he competed in the indoor championships. Perhaps he doesn't want to take any chances. Let's try and find out and report to those fans at home what is the matter with Sidney Marie.
It is Steve Gallagher who has taken the lead here in this 10-man field. And you know, Eamon, as we were discussing on the way to the stadium tonight, the mile has always been a marquee event, indoors or outdoors, here in America. And it's been that way for years. Why?
I think it's 4 minutes and the mile. That makes sense to a lot of people out there. The ordinary common person on the street can relate to a 3:59 mile, can relate to a 3:50 mile. But if you say to a man on the street, how fast do you think a man runs when he runs a 3:50 or 3:29, 1,500 meters? He goes, I have no idea how fast that is. Is it a world record pace or what? They don't understand. And that's what makes the mile magical.
But you know, you talk about the 4-minute barrier. That was eclipsed way back in, I believe, 1954 by Roger Bannister. And what you're saying is that Americans are still fascinated by a time that was eclipsed 34, 35 years ago.
Not only the Americans, but people all around the world are still, you know, thrilled by a man who runs in the 4 minute for the mile. They can relate to that. They can appreciate how fast it takes to go around this track 4 times in under 4 minutes.
Well, it is still Gallagher running in first. And he is making it look easy. Ray Flynn, number 514, running very comfortably right now in 3rd place.
Second place, we have Roosevelt Jackson. Roosevelt, who's living in Indianapolis right now. He was more of a half miler who decided, hey, I better get away from the half and move up to the mile. He's had some real good runs indoors. Now he's ready. This is his first race of the season, and he's just trying to find out exactly where he's at.
Jackson, Flynn, and Jeff Bigg running 1, 2, 3 now. Gallagher now beginning to being drawn in by the pack, if you will.
Well, even though he's about 3 meters in the lead, he has to move it into the outside lane, into the second lane. That's an indication that, hey, I don't want to take it, guys. Please go by me. I've had enough. Roosevelt Jackson has taken him up on that, and he's now gone into the lead.
Now it is Jackson and Ray Flynn. And, Eamon, I don't think your fellow countryman, Ray Flynn, is satisfied with the pace that Gallagher set early on.
Well, Ray wants to test himself. This is his first run for the outdoor season as well. Ray's had his problems for the last 2 years. He didn't make the Irish Olympic team last year. He hadn't got a great indoor season, but he said he's been training very well in the last couple of months, and he's ready to really do something this outdoor season. You'll find now, as we approach with nearly 550 meters to go, Ray's going to say to himself, hey, I can beat these guys. I'm going to probably take it on here. So just let's watch to see if Ray does that.
Jackson, Flynn, and Jeff Pigg, a Florida graduate. And now it is Pigg who sweeps past Jackson's right shoulder. And Jeff Pigg has taken a lead. His personal best, 3:41.4. And there on the bell lap, Pigg, Flynn, and now Jackson begins to fade.
Moving up on the outside is Jim McKeon. He's been injured. He's had Achilles problems for the last year or so. He hasn't been out on the tracks. People have wondered, where is he? He is one of the up-and-coming great Americans. He's now, look at him, he's going to challenge Ray Flynn. He's going to put the test to Ray to see if Ray has got any speed over this last 250 meters.
It is McKeon and Ray Flynn. Flynn running very comfortably, stumbles a bit down the backstretch. Now they head into the final turn. It is McKeon, Flynn, and Pigg. And now they swing into the final straightaway. And here comes the Irishman. It is Ray Flynn. He ran 5 miles this morning in training. And Flynn with an outstanding kick. And back comes Roosevelt Jackson on the inside. Oh, what a finish. It is Jackson, I believe.
It's definitely going to take a photo finish to decide who won that race. It looked like Ray's legs were over the line first, but Jackson's torso seemed to sneak over the line first.
What a tremendous kick for both Ray Flynn.
All the runners have to dig really deep into the reserves here. It's the first race of the season for them. They haven't extended themselves in speed at all yet. That's what they came here to find out about. Now here's Ray making a bit of an error. He's moving out into the second lane. On the other hand, Roosevelt Jackson sneaks in on the inside. Ray is digging much, much deeper. He doesn't want to lose this race. He needs to win this race to gain the confidence for the rest of the season.
Boy, what a finish. You will not see a better one ever. Ray Flynn, at the age of 32 years of age, tried to fight off Roosevelt Jackson. Did he do it? We'll find out when we return.
What good is spending a fortune on brand name sneakers if you have nothing left over to play with?
Announcing 3 new fantasy prizes in Scrabble at McDonald's. Your own tickets to the Super Bowl and the World Series and the NBA Championship. Or a fantasy vacation to European castles. Or money, enough to make your own fantasy come true. Just spell the new Scrabble bonus words and win. So what's your fantasy? That's a good one. Play Scrabble at McDonald's. A game you can actually win.
Let me show you everything I know about electricity. On, off. You want to know any more? Ask Ace. That's what I do. Hey, let me tell you, Ace is a place for me.
Someday, when I'm awfully low, when the world is cold, I will feel a glow just thinking of you in the way you look tonight.
The night belongs to Michelob.
Now, with Budget Rapid Action and an express reservation, you go right from the plane, straight to Budget Express, and into your car. Just sign the contract, and you're off. That's Rapid Action. Priority service for people on the move.
Hello, Budget Rent-A-Car.
I'd like to reserve a car, and I'll take that free upgrade.
Certainly, Mr. Hadley.
At Budget, a free upgrade is yours for the asking. And a frequent flyer card will get you unlimited mileage. Value mile after mile from Budget.
Hello, Budget Rent-A-Car.
On a officially, you saw it, Roosevelt Jackson in a time of 4:03.9. An eyelash in front of Ray Flynn and Matt Parker. Well, I'll tell you one thing. In every miler's vocabulary, Eamon, are the words hurt, pain, and agony. I tell you, that's something that Roosevelt Jackson feels right now, but he's not going to admit it to anybody, is he?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. What he's going to get out of that race is the confidence to take him through the rest of the season. He needs to go to Europe this year. He's going to be one of the most promising middle-distance runner America has for the next couple of years.
Ray Flynn, as I had mentioned, had run 5 miles earlier today, and Eamon told me just before they took the starter's gun that Ray probably will run another 10 or 15 tomorrow.
He certainly will. You know, Ray will be a little disappointed in that because he feels, you know, he's a 3:49 miler. He needs to get back. He wanted to win that race more than anybody else there.
Well, up next, it's the women's 400-meter dash. Marita Koch of East Germany holds the world record. The American mark belongs to Valerie Briscoe, a time of 48.87 set back in 1984. Now the lane assignments tonight here in Tampa, Florida. In lane 1, Angela Nash. In lane 2, Andy Lyons. Alice Jackson is in lane 3. Our pre-race favorite, Lily Leatherwood, is in lane 4. Gerald Miles is the dark horse. She's in lane 5. Tasha Downing, also interesting to watch. Another Florida Gator in lane 6. And Pam Hawkins in lane 7. There's Lily Leatherwood, back in 1984, an Olympic gold medalist on America's 4x400-meter relay.
She's perhaps the most experienced lady in this team tonight. You know, she's only 24 years of age, but she was only 19 years old when she was on that victorious gold medal team in '84.
You know, when you talk about the women's 400-meter dash, Eamon, aerobic and anaerobic demands on the body are as great in this event as in any endurance event.
They're running in oxygen debt from about 200 meters out. They have to go at world record pace the first 200 meters and continue with that pace for the next 200.
We'll be keeping our eyes on Lily Leatherwood in lane 4. Her personal best, 49.95, set back in 1987. 5th in the 1984 Olympic Games in the 400 meters. Leatherwood is in lane 4. In lane 5, it is Gerald Miles and Tasha Downing in lane 6 as they head down the final backstretch into their last turn.
Well, Leatherwood's got the advantage here. She can see Miles. She's in her sights all the way around. As they come around the turn now, they've got to dig deep as they turn off this last turn into the straightaway. And this is who we see is in the lead.
Gerald Miles. Oh, what a surprise, running neck and neck with Lily Leatherwood. And now it is Leatherwood. Or is it Miles? It'll be Gerald Miles. Well, Eamon, I talked about her being the dark horse in this race. She had yet to win a big race in her young career, and I think she has just done it.
Well, watch as they come into the straight here now. This is where you need an awful lot of strength. They have been running at tremendous pace right through the first 300 meters. They've got to carry with a lot of strength on the straightaway. This is the difference between Gerald and between Leatherwood. Leatherwood tied up an incredible amount, whereas Miles, she was able to carry it right through to the final tape, and it was strength that got her there first.
Now, we talked earlier in the evening about how tough it is to win a big race when you have not been there before. But for every runner who's ever come along, they had to win a big race sometime, and Gerald Miles has just done it. We'll be back.
Spring fever is here, and the Cable Advantage and Comcast Cable want to send you on a dream vacation to Jamaica. We'll fly you and a guest to beautiful Montego Bay for relaxation in the sun and surf. It's easy to win. No purchase is necessary. Register to win at any of these official Spring Fever sponsor locations. Malcolm Marine, Physicians Weight Loss Center, Ohatchee Creek Nursery and Tropical Gardens, and Professional Opticians. Spring fever is here. Watch for this registration form coming soon to your mailbox. The Spring Fever treasure chest is loaded with great prizes, like a pair of water skis from Malcolm Marine, 2 pairs of genuine Ray-Ban sunglasses from Professional Opticians, an 8-week weight loss program from Physicians Weight Loss Center, and much more. Spring fever is here. Comcast Cable and the Cable Advantage want you to register and win today.
In May, the only place for all the action is ESPN. The City of Lights is aglow with live French Open tennis. Then off to the races when the green flag falls, including 3 days of Indy time trials. ESPN brings you Derby Day and Preakness Day specials. The PGA Tour always spells action. And college baseball's best head for the NCAA World Series. All this and more in May, only on ESPN.
ESPN live coverage of the Gatorade Track and Field Invitational from beautiful Tampa, Florida. Along with Eamon Coughlin and Larry Rawson, I'm Phil Stone. We welcome you back. Our final event of the night is the men's 200 meters. The American record, I should say the world record, set back in 1979. The American record belongs, of course, to Carl Lewis. He established it in 1983. Now we are set. This field, Gabriel Ticot, Rodney Lawson, Darren Council in lane 4, Eugene McNeil in lane 5. We'll be watching Tony Pettigrew in lane 6. Brian Irving in lane 7 has now been scratched, and in lane 8 it is Tony Lee. Now lane 6, Tony Pettigrew. His personal mark in the men's 400, 44.83, so he is coming down a bit for this event, Eamon.
He ran the second fastest time in the world already this year. He's already run in the relay. And now here he is in the 200 meters in lane number 5. Perhaps he's got the ideal lane. These are long turns. When you're running on the inside 2 lanes, they're much tighter. When you're on the middle, lane 4, lane 5, lane 6, you're able to drive around those turns much easier than if you were on the inside lanes. In lane number 2, we have Gabriel Tiaco, the 400-meter runner who won the 400 meters.
Eugene McNeil, second place in the 200 meters at the World Championships in Rome back in 1987. So Gabriel Ticot, a surprise entrant here, trying to double tonight.
Well, he didn't look too smooth winning that 400 meters, even though he won it in a good time. So perhaps running this 200 meters, he's using this as a workout so early on in the season.
Well, look at the level of concentration. And it is a good start to the men's 200 meters. And look at them fly as they come down the straightaway. In lane 4, Darren Council and McRae. It'll be Council running away from the field. Tony Pettigrew finished second, and Eugene McNeil takes third. Boy, Darren Council simply exploded down that straightaway.
And he exploded around a turn. He used that turn to his advantage. It's almost like running indoors. He used that centrifugal force on the lane coming off the turn to explode up that straightaway. And that's exactly what he did. Eugene McNeil, he just got past as we approached the tape with 3 meters to go.
Now, Tony Pettigrew trying to come down in this event, finished second, but I'll tell you what, he found out firsthand how tough it is to come down when you are facing one of the world's best in Darren Council. The Council at the age of 24 has gotten his 1989 outdoor season off to a blazing start. His time, 20.6. We'll return to Tampa in a moment.
Who says 35 cents to get nothing today? You get a whole ham candy bar, exotic plant, a compact car, or you can get a Whopper.
Just buy a Whopper and get a second one for only 35 cents.
A 35-cent Whopper.
My S15 pickup gets me to work Monday through Friday, but it's best on Saturdays. It's got plenty of room in the extended cab and a smooth ride. It's dependable, and it does things a car just can't. I even saved $1,900 on options with a value package. With 4.3-liter power available and the security of rear-wheel anti-lock brakes, the decision to buy was even easier. GMC Truck. It's not just a truck anymore.
Get 2.9 financing or up to $750 cash back on selected S15 pickups.
Many men have have sensitive skin that's irritated by shaving. Aftershave Skin Conditioner is clinically proven to soothe and relieve razor-scraped skin. Sensible care for sensitive skin. After.
By Naaman.
You got a thirst. You know what you need.
Fluids and minerals fast. Energy for hard-working muscles. Nothing better. Give me some of that Gatorade.
John Madden on defense. Okay, how do you defend your camshaft against wear? Look, overhead cam area. It's where most wear occurs in today's advanced engines. See these lobes pound on steel here, boom, and there, boom, over 16,000 times a minute. And your only defense is your oil. So it better be a super oil, like Superflow from Exxon. Want to defend today's engines? Go with an oil specially designed for it.
Go with the flow, Exxon Superflow.
Now the men's high jump results. Officially, Jake Jacoby continued the success he enjoyed indoors with a smashing outdoor victory as he leaps 7 feet 4 1/4 inches to beat Mike Pescuzzo. And the pole vault, Joe Dial, 19 feet 1/4 inch over Greg Duplantis and Paul Babbitts. Boy, what a night it has been here in Central Florida here at the Gatorade Invitational. Now for Larry Rawson and Eamon Coughlin, I'm Phil Stone. Thanks for joining us from Tampa, Florida. Tonight's Gatorade Track and Field Invitational has been brought to you by Gatorade Thirst Quencher. Gatorade is thirsty.
When's the keep a man waiting?
Lee Horsley,
Let's get it over with.
Chuck Connors, Paradise, Saturday at 8. This is CBS.
Quality care. That's what Citizens Hospital in Talladega is all about. Our healthcare team makes your stay pleasant, so you'll feel your best when it's time to go home.
Grandma, I'm so glad you're coming home.
Citizens Hospital. We're here for life.
Have you ever tried to borrow money only to be told, we don't make loans that small, or your car is too old for collateral, or you're on a fixed income, or you're a single working parent, so we don't make loans like that? Well, at Columbus Finance, we specialize in these type loans from $30 and up. We love to say yes. So when you have a financial need, contact one of our managers. We love to say yes.
Located across from the old courthouse in Anniston, at Columbus Finance, we love to say yes.
The Red Cross closes its Disaster Assistance Center. The story at 10.
Michael, we have company.
Brought you a present. Close your eyes. Keep them closed.
Can I look?
No. Don't peek. No.
Michael, that's a sapphire. How did you know?
Know what?
It's my favorite stone.
Is it really?
Uh-huh. Oh, God, too good to be true.
You were supposed to pop your corn, not join your faces. Sorry, I couldn't resist.
Popcorn's in the microwave. Just take a few minutes.
I see you are employed as a cook here. Perhaps you could answer a few questions.
There's a bioneurological response to physical contact which I don't understand. Very well. If you're in such a hurry, I'll get to the point. As a visiting bioanimated life form, I wonder if you might share your feelings with me as we have physical contact. I notice you are heating up. A slight vibration. Oh, my.
At first, I thought it would be like being one of those chocolates in a Whitman sampler.
That's how I felt when I put in my ad.
One bite, and they just toss you away.
Well, everyone wears masks, and you wonder who's really behind them. Sometimes it's a prince. Sometimes it's a pauper. It's like a game.
On the dating game, you only get to choose one date at a time.
Now, sometimes one is all you need.
Everybody should play by the rules.
Something bothering you?
You are having 2 dates.
Jesse, what are you talking about?
Another woman has been joining him at the Face. I saw them going into the restaurant last night.
Last night? You must mean Susan. Susan Stanton, the business associate I told you about. It was a working dinner, tax deductible. So what's your problem?
So what's my problem?
My goodness, it is getting late.
Jesse, you just misunderstood. Who would like melted butter on their popcorn? Jesse, would you come help me? Jesse, you really have to get along with Michael.
I don't like Michael. And I don't want you to like him either.
Jesse, I'm in love with him.
In love?
Every minute of every day that I'm with him is... It's like a dream come true. I can't believe how perfectly we're matched. Jesse, Michael's asked me to marry him. And I've said yes. The wedding's next Thursday, and we booked the most wonderful honeymoon.
Jane fails to see the truth.
Obviously, this condition causes some allergic reaction in head cavities.
And it leads to marriage, wedding, and a honeymoon book.
Honeymoon? Honeymoon. I'll show you honeymooners. There is a video encyclopedia on honeymooners that generations on this planet have studied.
Does it define marriage?
I have nothing from the world of tomorrow.
You want the world of tomorrow, Alice? You want the world of tomorrow? I'll give you the world of tomorrow. You're going to the moon.
Why did Jane wait all her life for this condition to begin?
Apparently, it is a test of human endurance. Many try the course. Few finish.
Thank you. Your friend, Jesse, is a hard man to pin down. Doesn't seem to hold a job very long. No background, no family, no last name.
No last name. Good Lord, why don't you just arrest Cher?
You're saying things that I've been trying to tell Jane since I first met him.
Ma'am, this is a great cup of coffee. You are one lucky man to be marrying a woman who makes coffee this good.
Well, I never touched the stuff.
What a shame.
Jesse is the most innocent, helpless. He couldn't possibly have had anything to do with the burglary.
You did say you came home earlier than you'd planned.
He's the one who stopped it.
Perhaps he had to put on a good show.
I had something to hook him on, I would, but I don't. I'm just recommending a little caution. Gotta go. There's been a lot of burglaries of single women lately. We're just trying to find someone or something that ties them all together. You should also know. A couple of months ago, one of the victims was killed at the scene. Well, have a nice day.
I'll feel much better after we're married. Then I can take care of her myself.
Try the coffee.